So I've got here the Kill Team Arena terrain. So I've got some clippers, I've got a knife to remove the mould lines, and I've got some Tamiya cement for gluing these things together. So I am going to use these clippers to separate all these pieces from the sprues. I'm then going to take the mould lines off using the knife, and I'm going to come back and show you how to put them all together. So I'll be back with you in a second. These are all the pieces cleaned off. We've got 10 of these doors, which once you've cleaned them off, got rid of all the flash lines and the bits where they attach to the sprue, you can just put to one side. I'm going to start with these pipes. So, simple two-piece model. I've cleaned it off and I've test fitted it, so now I'm going to glue it together using a bit of Tamiya cement. So there's an appropriate amount of glue on all surfaces, and now I'm going to push that together hard, because what I want to do is have these bits definitely sealed. Use a little bit of glue to melt these edges together. And then I'll hold this for a minute or so just to make sure it's properly together, and then it's done. So in a second I'll come back and do the barrels. So there's two sorts of barrels. One is the Adeptus Mechanicus barrel, which again, simple two-piece model. You just want to make sure that the edges stick together. Hold it tight. And I'm running this brush along this join to get the edge to come together. So again, I hold that quite close. I can do this with the bottom as well. Maybe not apply so much to it. So and that's done. With the other barrels there's a definite top and bottom. So one side has the skull, one side has the eagle, and one side has holes and one side has tiny pins. So again, and then bang, that goes together. So a little bit of excess popping out the top there. There we go. So you do that with all the barrels. So I'm going to do that with all barrels, then I'll come back and show you how to do the barrel stack. Once you put all the barrels together, you end up with 2 barrel stacks worth. So you've got 4 normal barrels to go at the bottom and 1 Adeptus Mechanicus barrel to go at the top. So I'm going to paint these separately and then super glue them on, because the Adeptus Mechanicus barrel is going to be a mix of bolt gun metal and Mechrite red, whereas I'll do these a different colour. So it'll be simpler if I'm airbrushing them to just paint them separately and glue them together after. But what you need to do is you need to get this slightly offset and then glue these barrels together. So be careful about having the skull and the eagle touching. You do want to have the barrels a little split apart. So, but you also need to have them square. So you get them together like so. What you want to do is pop a block of glue between those barrels, then leave it to dry, because these won't be properly stable until you put this on top and glue them all together with this point of contact here. But until then, so for airbrushing them and putting the base coats on, you want them to be able to stay together. So that's those. I'll come back in a second and do the crate. Now it's time to sort out these crates. So, because the hinges get in the way, I'm going to glue them with the hinges pointing outwards. So, get a good bit of glue on any of the surfaces that might make contact and push them together. So you need to do two sets of L-shaped crates and 2 of a straight line. You'll notice on these crates you've got these little pins here. If those are going to get in the way of how you place your crate and get it to stay in, say by interfering with the eagle, cut it off. Don't hesitate for a second. I've done that with this one, with these 2 pins, so that when I glue this together, and I'll start with gluing these 2 together, it doesn't get in the way. So we start with gluing these 2 and then we leave them for a minute. And then we glue that one in, and then we're ready to pop that one on. So you can see you do have to be a little careful with how you put them in and how you put them together, but they do go together easily enough, and suddenly you start having the stacks of crates finished. So just a hobby knife. And then like So. And then suddenly you've got 2 crate stacks done. So I'm going to finish the rest of these crates, and then I'm going to spray undercoat using the airbrush and some surface primer, everything black, ready to start painting them. If you've liked this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment below and I'll chat to you. But otherwise, good gaming.